Yo, what's up YouTube? Today we got a video that a lot of you have been asking for. This is a review on the Hoppin Pro Dancer kit, as well as a how-to. Alright, so we have item number 108, which is the Pro Dancer 3-wheel kit. This is for use with 1/20th and 1/24th scale plastic models. And with this kit you can keep your interior. It's a skill level 3, which means if you don't have any experience with models, if this is your first one, I would not recommend going with this one. I would probably start off with one of the easier ones and then move your way up to this. Alright, and we're going to take a look inside. First on the top we have the packaging, and then we have a box. We'll check out what it has in a second. And then we have our 4 motors as well as the gears. And then we have a sheet of styrene, as well as the instructions. Alright, so included inside of the switch box we have 2 small zip ties, 1 power bar, as well as a small rubber band and some speaker wire. Alright, and also included inside the box we have some line, 2 metal axles, a metal O for the front of the car, 2 plastic O's. We also have the T-sliders, and then over here we have 4 push button switches. We have some Velcro, 4 plastic grommets, and 2 alligator clips with their covers. Alright, and for the first step in assembly, you want to take a pencil and mark out the center of your axle on the top. See, I have it marked right here. You can measure, but I just did this by eye. That works too. Then you want to take your plastic O and set it right in the middle. And then you want to take a pencil or a marker and mark out where it's at. And then you want to cut out this middle section right here. I would also like to mention, try not to cut out too much because you need space to glue this onto. Okay, and for cutting holes like this, I would recommend using a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel. Alright, and after you're done cutting your hole, you want to make sure that there's enough space on the sides. The plastic doesn't overhang because that could interfere and cause it to lock up. Then you want to take some sandpaper and rough this side up. And then the back end of the O, you see it has 2 little ears. You want these to face up, and what these do is it keeps this from moving side to side. Okay, and after you're done scuffing both sides of the plastic, you want to glue it in place with some super glue. Alright, and after gluing in your O, you want to test fit your T. Just drop it in there and make sure it slides in smoothly like so. And if not, you can flip it around and file the inside down. Alright, and the next step is to install the metal O in the front, and you want to start off by cutting off any cross members you have, right here and right here. Alright, the next step is if you have anything raised up like this, you want to file them down smooth so you can glue your O down. Alright, and after sanding your spots down smooth, you want to take your metal O and make sure that this part with the bar that protrudes faces downward. And you just want to glue it on like the front one, like so. Just make sure to line it up with your wheels. Alright, and the next step is to get your plastic grommets and push them through these holes, like so, until they snap in. And the next step is to position your motors like so. You want to make sure that the shaft is over these 2 holes, because that's where the string is going to go. Just going to use some super glue to glue those down. And you want to make sure that there's enough space in the middle for the T to slide up and down freely. After you have your 2 motors glued in, you just want to double check that it moves smoothly. So you want to pop in your T and just make sure that it moves up and down like this. And if not, you might need to reposition your motors. Next, we're going to install the 2 rear motors, and what you're going to do is place them down and see where the shaft goes, and then we're going to drill a hole right here and under this one too, and this is going to be for the line. And then you want to take your drill bits and drill those holes out to fit the small plastic grommets. And after your 2 holes are drilled, you want to take your plastic grommets and push the thinner side in like so, and you push them down until they click in for both of them, like so. Alright, the next step is to glue these motors down like so. Make sure that the shaft is over the grommet. The next step is to run your lines. So you want to take a small piece of string and feed it through this bottom part of the T, and once you got it through, you want to tie a knot on this so it won't pull out. Right. Then you want to do the same thing to the other side. Alright, the next step is you want to take each side and feed it through the sides of the metal O, like so, and then pull them all the way through. Alright, so after you have these through, you want to take both of these, hold them in one hand, and push the T through like that. Alright, next step is to get your T and break this bit off. And then you're going to get that piece and slide it between the T like so, and line up the holes. Then you can grab your axle with your wheels and push them through. And then add your second wheel. Next you want to take this side of the string and push it through this hole right here, like so. And you want to do that with the other one too. Alright, and then the next step is to put your string that comes out through a gear, and you want to adjust the slack. You want to have about an inch of slack, and then you want to push this on like so, and make sure you get it on there good so it won't fall off. And you want to do that with the other one. Next you can cut off some of the excess. You want to leave about ½ an inch right there, just in case the line pulls in a little bit. The next step is to string up the rear, same as you did the front. So you're going to tie your a knot up here on the string. You're going to pull it down through here and out into the plastic grommet and onto the two motors. You want to test fit your body, make sure that nothing's hitting or rubbing. And here in the front you can see if something is hitting or rubbing, you just want to trim up the plastic like that to make space. And just make sure everything fits together nice. If anyone's wondering, this is a 1962 Impala. Okay, and the first step in the wiring is to get the top plate of the switch box, and you want to get your switch and take off the nuts that are on it, and you want to slide it through like so, and make sure that these prongs are like this, so you want one on this side and one on the other side, not like this or any other way. And then you're going to want to put on your lock washer, which is this thing right here with a little split on it. So that thing goes on first, and then your nut, and you slip that over and screw it down, and you want to do that with all four. Alright, and the next step is to get your power bar and solder it onto one side of the prongs. Now, a lot of people have problems with this, and I have a little trick for you. If you can't get those to stick, or this to stick, you take your wire and you strip off all the insulation off of it, and you twist it up like so. And you can use this instead of the other one, and just solder it on, and this one works way better. It sticks a lot easier. Next you want to grab your included wire and split them and peel them apart. And then you want to take your positive wire. You can choose whichever one to be your positive. You want to cut a 28-inch piece and solder onto this first motor right here. Alright, and then after you solder that wire, you want to take another positive wire and you want to cut it 28 inches, same as this one, and you want to solder it onto this end right here. Next step is to get the wire from, we're going to call this motor A, and solder it onto the first switch right here on this side. After you're done soldering that wire, you're going to take the wire from, we're going to call this motor B, and you're going to solder it onto the second prong right here. Next, you're going to take another piece of your positive wire. You're going to cut this one to 18 inches, and you're going to go from this side of the rear motor to this prong, and then you're going to go from this side right here of the rear motor to the last prong. Alright, next we're going to get a negative wire from the other side, and we're going to cut a 2.5-inch piece, and we're going to go from this prong right here to this one. Next you want to take a 3-inch piece of negative wire and go from this prong right here, which will be the negative side, to this prong right here, which is the negative side of the rear. Next you want to take your negative wire and cut a 7-inch piece, and you're going to want to go from this prong to this prong right here. Alright, next you're going to take some positive wire and you're going to cut a 10-inch piece, and you're going to solder it onto the side right here with the power bar. Alright, and after you have that soldered on, you want to take the other end, slide on the cover for the alligator clip, and then you want to solder your clip onto this side of the wire. Next you will take a negative wire and cut a 17-inch piece, and you're going to solder one end to this back part, and with the other end we're going to do the same thing as we did with the other piece. We're going to put on your boot and then solder on your clip, and then we're going to tidy up all the wires, and that should be it. Alright, next step is to put in your interior and glue down these wires to get them out of the way. I glued them down on the sides, as you can see, and then tidy up the rest of the wiring. Then you want to paint your body and the rest of your pieces and put it all together. You can use the included Velcro on the corners right here if you're having trouble with the body staying, and you also want to glue down your hood. Alright, now that it's all assembled, I'm just going to test it out. So I have it hooked up to a drone battery. You can use most RC car batteries will work, drone batteries if not. Hoppin Hydro sells some on their website. And I'll just go through the motions real quick. The battery's a little dead, so you won't get much out of the front, but Alright, now for my final thoughts on the Hoppin Hydro's Pro Dancer kit. The whole thing fits together nicely, although like all these kits it takes a little bit of finesse to get them to work right. You guys can't tell, but off camera it takes a lot of time to get these to work smoothly. I would also like to mention again that this kit is definitely not for beginners. I've done a couple of these, but this is by far the hardest one. The wheels and tires are available on Hoppin Hydro's website. I'll have the link down in the description below. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's it.